Welcome to Relax and Paint this morning, and I'm going to do some more spring, the season of beautiful popping tulips and stuff, which might not be in your area right now. It depends on when you're watching, but across the country here in the US, so many people are snowed in, and this gives them a little bit of hope. And so we've got snow and rain and storms everywhere. So think about painting something you never thought you'd paint, and please subscribe and click um, the bell when you subscribe. And what happens is it lets you know when I'm going to pop up with my lives. And lots of times I give you discounts on the lives, so don't miss out. And here we go. We're going to be painting a really pretty tulip scene, which you could put bunnies or Easter eggs inside this painting yourself. So let's get started. All right, I'm going to get ready, get my palette, and we're going to start. Okay. Okay, guys, we're going to use our painter sponge. I put out some colors on my palette that I want to use in this background. And so I'm using some colors here. There's a blue, there's a skyline, which is a muted blue. These are all multi-surface colors that I'll be using. So I've got citrus, yellow ochre, wicker white, and skyline there right now for the background. And when I need water, I don't use water, guys, I use floating medium. And floating medium is the fluff that's inside the paint with no pigment. So it dries at the same speed as the acrylic, which makes it easier when we're working. All right, so I'm going to take my sponge, my Donna Dewberry painter sponges, and there's two in a pack, a larger one and this smaller one. I took my fingers and I lightly dampened so it would go into this dry canvas, okay? So the first thing I want to do is I want to pick up some white with the skyline, sky view. Let me make sure that name's right. Skyline. I was right first. Okay, so we're going to pull down. We can use scrapers like room keys or whatever to scrape on if you want it more chunky, or you can just have a pretty background. I'm going to keep grabbing both colors. And we're going to go, oops, there's my head's in the way. We don't want to do that. I'm going to use both colors, but I don't want to, you see, you can use some abstract looking. Yeah, just like we were scraping it, where it has a textured, a little bit of a texture look in the background. All right, so you leave it just like that. And then I could turn this and do all the edges. And I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to grab some citrus green in here. And I'm going to come up, and I didn't clean this sponge. I just grabbed those colors, okay? Now we're going to use darker green on the leaves, and this will be the color that kind of shows through. All right, I also can take some yellow ochre and bring a few yellow ochre spots, kind of peeping through the top of the grass. So if you turn this around, you'll see that look that we're doing. All right. All with the sponge. Now, what I do with the sponge is a couple of things. It makes the paint go on thinner, but covers well, which makes it dry so you can keep going. Dry quicker so you can keep going. All right. And I can put some blue in here too. Make it come down and see that a little bit. There we go. Doesn't matter down here because we're going to put a lot of darker green too. Go ahead and finish the edges as you go because you have the right color on here, and you don't have to try to match it later. Okay, now I fold this in half, and I stick it into one of the cubbies inside the brush basin, the small cubbies. All right. Now I'm going to grab my paper towels. Sorry. Oh, there they are right behind me. Okay. So I can hit this with a blow dryer or my heat pen. It's like a heat gun, but it's a pen. I use this a lot for small areas and for glass, so I can keep working. Or you can use for bigger areas the blow dryer. Okay, so we're going to use our 3/4 inch brushes, or you can get your 16 flat. These are 1 stroke brushes. Okay, so what I am now going to do is I want to take this out because I'll probably use that some later. And I'm going to put in my double loader. So it's got all the colors that I need. I put it under the 1 notch, slide it in. All of the tools that I'm using and technique that I'm using is on practice strokes that you can see every Friday. I put a new one, and it's right here on our channel. So go check them out, okay? So we're going to take and dampen our brush first. Okay, this is for a lefty or a righty. Okay, I dampen the brush, lay it on the paper towel, and I want some pink, but I don't want it strong, strong. So I'm using magenta and worker white, and I can touch it up with lighter pink later. I'm gonna put almost 2/3 white, 1/3 magenta. I picked up a little bit of that light, that bright pink over there, and I don't want that there, so there we go. So dip, but you split the brush and pick up more. We want this brush 2/3 full of paint. 2/3 full of paint. Now, what I would like to do is I want to dip a teeny bit in the kind of in the middle of that brush. That was kind of tricky. But if you get it on the one corner, you can still go back and pick up more of the white. All right, so see it's nicely loaded. And I don't need medium yet because I've got a lot of paint. All right, so the flower that's behind first is way over here. So I'm going to come up and slide back down. I'm going to come up over here. It's a skinny bud that's not open and slide back down. So see, I'm just pick up some more magenta, work it in because this petal's going to be on front. Okay, so right here, I'm going to come right up here, get a little bit more white because you got to see this petal over the other 2 petals. You see that? There we go. So I want to go back again and just lay, see, I just laid the center kind of in there, but I want to dip the white and flatten it, and then I'm ready for the next. All right, so we have a flower that's going to be right up here next to this, the original one. So we're going to have this back petal, a little bit more white. And the second petal. See, I keep laying it over here after I pick up the magenta. I keep touching in the white. Do you see that? I gotta try not to. All right, so this opens up a little bit more. So right here is a petal that you're gonna just see the side of. You see that? And then right here, I wanna come up. I need pure white. There. It's not pure white. It's, oops, my hair's in the way. It is wicker white. Okay. Some more white and flatten it out. Now we want to come around this way with the pink, but I'm going to come right up here with the white. Okay. We're going to pick up some more and come right down in here is a bigger one about right here. One thing that helps you is if you make a cup down there where all the petals are going to come down to. All right, so you're going to do the back petal and bring it down. So what I am going to do is get more of these two colors. Dang it. I keep getting into that white. Let's go get the yellow again. Yellow ochre, then white. All right, so now what's going to happen is I have a little bit of one there, a little bit of a petal here. So you want to see the layers. So if you don't see the layers there, go pick up more. So right here, I'm going to slice down, and you can see that's another petal. And you can slice along here. See how I move that, roll that petal just a little bit? Okay, now this is going to be bigger here, so I'm going to come right here. There we go. All right. So I can come in here a little bit. See how I'm doing this? I'm going to slice again and overlap that one. See, all of that just kind of makes it look a little bit more natural, and I can come back and add some yellow ochre in there in other spots. All right, so we're going to put two more over here. Now this one's going to have the tulip facing inward, I mean towards us just a little bit. So look, we come down here, we have that, and we have this one over here. Okay, and that gives you a nice combination of tulips there. Okay, so right here, we're going to have tulip there, a petal. See, we're going to pick up and come up. See how we get the layers of this? We pick up some more white. You see that? Picking up, flattening. We flatten the white and stand up. See how we get that nice streaks in there? And then right in here, oops, does not need white in there. Okay. And then I'm going to pick up more yellow ochre. And we're going to come right up here. Okay, a little bit more white. We get the white, we kind of flatten it. Do you see that? A little bit more white. Right, a little bit more. I'm gonna come up and make this one in front. Okay, well, we'll put some more shading on there, but now with the pink on my brush, I don't try to wipe it out. I'm gonna pick up some Teal and Thicket, and I'm gonna work this in. Okay, let's go citrus and Thicket. Let's try that. You don't know when you've got that color on it what's gonna look best. Okay, so we're still with our 3/4 inch brush. I'm going to come right here and I'm going to pull straight down and grab this right here. See the bud down here? These are in the back, so they're a little skinnier. Carry that down there. And we're going to come right in here. All right, so what happens is I'm going to bring a little bit of darkness up here just by using what's on this brush. And pick up a few more. And it's just real loose. It's not exact. All right, so now in front of this, I am going to pick up the citrus and the thicket. Let's grab a little bit of white. All right, and we're going to come from the bottom. And we want to see where you really see the strokes of the ones that are in front. Okay, now what I want you to see is that I chisel, flat, chisel, and roll. All right, so I really want those to stand out in front. So I can come back in here with some white so it stands out a little bit. All right. All right, we're going to come chisel. I can come back down to clean it up. I can also come down on this side. I think I should have made the ones in the background a little bit more faded, but that's okay. There we go. And I'm going to make a couple rolled ones. I'll show you another little trick about rolling. We've got 4 colors on there. So I'm going to come up on the chisel and come right to there. All right, so I can pick up white and citrus. And that's what's on the top, whatever color is on the top. I'm going to chisel and I'm going to lay the brush down. All right, is that kind of fun? All right, this one we did it in one stroke, but look how easy it is if I come up to here. And then I come right across the top of this. And I do that, and it rolls really easy. All right. Now we're going to put some daisies in around that. And what I can do is we can put a couple little stems in here. And I'll show you what we can do with that. We can take a little bit of this white, tap, 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 and on the chisel of the brush, we can make some stalk flowers. Okay, just a little bit of white on the chisel. This is a 16 flat. And it's tapping on the green, so it's picking up a little bit of that color. So you can have some tall stalks, and that's kind of nice, just a little bit of that. And then we're going to wash this out. I'm going to blow dry just the tulips for a minute. With my heat pen. These are right on my website. You got to keep it moving because it'll bubble up the paint. You don't want to leave it one spot. I'm doing this so I can float the yellow colors. Okay. So what's going to happen is I'm going to come in with a little bit of floating medium on, I have the dark green handle brushes, which are a little bit less expensive, and then the 16 and other colors, other brushes are in the big signature set, okay? So the 10 must-use brushes are in the one set, but the 16 is a separate brush. And then the 13 piece has all of the specialty 13 must-use brushes. All right, so I'm gonna get some yellow ochre, and I am going to come right in here a little bit. And so you got floating medium. And on one side, we're putting the yellow ochre. So just little bits here and there. All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of yellow down in here. That yellow ochre just gives a little nice shade to it. Okay, a little bit in here. And we can have a little bit in here. All right, so my little finger touched wet. So we have a little bit of white with the yellow ochre. Yeah, a little bit of this yellow helps with that, the nice color we're trying to get. Some white with yellow ochre. All right, now I can, like I said, wash this off and come in here with a wet brush and take off any on the white that I have. Some of those flowers were not quite dry, so I'm going to pick up and just get a little bit of white, and it's got floating medium, just the corner has some white. So I can come right along here. There we go. Okay. Anywhere where you think it needs a little bit more, you can come back and do this at this point. But what I want to do now, guys, is see how much brighter that made it. Now I'm going to take a smaller brush here, and this is a 6 flat, and I'm going to come right in some of this area and add a little bit of that burnt umber. This is burnt umber. Just real loose, not trying to make anything perfect. See, this is picking up the green a little bit too. Right? Now, I did take a little bit of it down on the stalk, on the stem, but you can also come in here with a little bit of white and go down the side of this. See, this little one's hard to control when I want to do a bigger area, so let's find a 12. All right. So if I take the 12 and I pick up some white, then I can just kind of go along here, just a little bit of a highlight. A little bit. And just remember, you can come in here and add little bits along the way here. So I just put some teal with that. A little bit of teal with a little bit of white. This one looks pretty good, but look how we can come in here. Gives you some nice color. So I'm going to use an 8. Let's use an 8. Yeah, I got an 8. That was good picking. All right. So I'm going to use an 8, and I'm going to use my clean white here. And we're going to make some daisies. Now, what I do with daisies, I've got white on both sides of this brush. Always dampen it and dry it, okay? So I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to do a clock. And I'm going to do short little daisy strokes. But remember, you got to pounce the center. So if these are too short, it's not going to show. And I do a clock. 12, 3, 6, and 9. And then I can come right in between. And I push left, push left, push left. So what you want it to do is have light in the middle. But I can come back and add a few more so that this is a really full little daisy and not a long slender one. So look, I'm going to come here, push left, push left. Okay, so then I can just put 2 in between. That little, or that smaller one, I did a little different. All right. You can come back always and just add extra ones and make it really full, but see how I can still see every stroke? I'll make this daisy a little bit larger. So having the dark underneath is nice because you can see depth. but I can come in here and add different strokes or additional strokes. All right. All right, and then I can come back in here. See, by putting fresh paint, watch, fresh paint, as I'm stroking this, gives you the texture of the other petals. And it's nice to have something coming off the edge. Gives character to your painting. Look a little bit down there. Okay, so I can come in here. All right. I'm going to come right in here and do one more. Remembering the clock. Push left, push left. So 1, 2, 2. Okay, so I'm going to get my small scruffy brush. Let's do another one over here. These are daisies that are below the picture. Okay. And some of this other area, I can come in here with a little bit of medium. You want all this to feel like butter while you're stroking. If it's dry, you need floating medium. I have enough paint that I haven't been dry, but many of you don't put enough paint in, and then um, you don't keep the colors separate, so you get muddy. I just want you to see that. All right. Now I'm going to take the little small scruffy. Okay. It's dry when you use it. It's natural hairs. All right. And I'm going to tap yellow. This is moon yellow and a touch of white. So we want moon yellow with a touch of white. You can come back and put the white later, but in here, I'm going to go right here. I think I'm just going to do moon yellow. And then come back and put other colors. Like I can now put some yellow ochre on the bottom. You can use green on the bottom for depth. And I'm putting yellow ochre down here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tap just a teeny bit of pure white and just touch the top. And what that does, it puts a highlight, makes it glow a little bit. There you go. Now I'm going to put a yellow butterfly to pull the yellow up. I'm going to pick up, I'm going to go right here and pick up both colors, split the brush, and then come here and work it in. That's on a 12 flat. That's moon yellow and wicker white. So I'm going to come right here and say, here's my, see that spot right there? That's my head. So I'm going to do a one stroke leaf that comes right to there. I'm going to flatten the brush again and overlap the front wing. And then I'm going to do two daisy strokes, push and lift, push and lift. All right. So I can also put another butterfly right here. Okay, I think the different butterflies in here will give it a really finished look. These are just my simple, basic little butterflies. And I'm going to do a script liner. So let's get the two script liners. All right, this is the only brush I really use water with. So I'm going to pick up, roll that brush to get it inky, and then I can streak through the citrus. All right, I'm going to lay it down for the head and pull the body, and then I touch and lift for the antennas. Okay, lay that down and then lift. That's the body. Now we got to take that around. Need a little bit darker in this body. There we go. All right, so we're going to lay this here. There's the body. And there's the antennas. Okay. I hope you guys like this. Just remember, if you're unhappy with your petals, you can just take a white tip script liner and you can go around any petal that you feel like needs something. You can also come up in here and add detail to every one of them if you wish to, or you can leave it like it is. So see, we can come here. Just here and there. Especially if there's spots that you feel like, oh, I wish I would have done the white a little stronger. You'll see that. Looks like I touched this with my finger, so I can go over that. Right there, I touched it with a green stem. But what's good about the liner is that you put pressure and then you lift. So it's a stroke, it's not just painting. All right, and so I can, there again, just wiggle a little bit of white. Or not, and just look at this. I can take a little bit of the dark, this is thicket, a little bit of it along here on the bottom of this daisy center to kind of set the center. It gives you a little bit of depth. Okay. So just a fun little spring painting, and it gives you some technique. So if you work on this, it will help you grow your skills and be able to keep painting with me. Check out my membership. The membership's One Stroke Advantage. And the advantage is you get 20% every month off anything you purchase on my site. All right, so we'll see you next time. Don't forget to come on Fridays. We have another fun lesson on Fridays. Oops, there you go. There's your painting. Pick any color you want and go for it.